Welcome to the channel. Love sci-fi? Subscribe, like, and share the journey. The observation fleet had been monitoring the third planet of the Sol system for over 2 centuries, hidden behind layers of advanced cloaking technology that rendered them invisible to the primitive inhabitants below. Commander Vex of the Galactic Oversight Council adjusted his viewing display, watching the small blue world spin lazily in the cosmic void. "Another day of peaceful observation," muttered his aide, Lieutenant Cole, as he updated the daily reports. The humans below continued their simple existence, unaware that 47 vessels from 12 different species watched their every move from high orbit. The Galactic Council had established these observation posts around promising worlds throughout the galaxy. Earth had been classified as a developing civilization, primitive but showing potential. Their crude rockets barely reached their own moon. Their weapons were chemical-based, and their fastest communication traveled at light speed. By galactic standards, they were children playing with wooden blocks. "Sir," called sensor operator Nix from her station, "I'm detecting unusual electromagnetic signatures from the northern continent." Vex glanced at the readout dismissively. "Probably another one of their communication satellites. Mark it in the log." But Nix frowned at her instruments. "No, sir. This is different. The energy patterns are organized, structured, almost like—" Her words were cut off by a brilliant flash that erupted across Earth's atmosphere. The observation fleet's sensors screamed warnings as massive energy discharges lit up their displays like fireworks. "What in the void is that?" Vex demanded, rushing to the primary viewing screen. The sky above Earth's largest continent began to shimmer and distort, as if reality itself was bending. Ripples of energy cascaded outward from multiple points, creating tears in the fabric of space-time that pulsed with raw power. "Commander!" Nix's voice cracked with disbelief. "Those aren't natural phenomena. Those are artificial dimensional rifts." The first tier widened, revealing a glimpse of something impossible. Through the rift, massive metallic structures became visible. Not the crude steel and aluminum constructions they'd observed on Earth's surface, but sleek, advanced vessels that gleamed with unknown alloys. "How is this possible?" Lieutenant Call whispered. "Our intelligence reports show they barely achieved nuclear fusion." More rifts opened across the planet's sky, each one revealing additional glimpses of hidden technology. The tiers grew larger, more stable, until finally the first vessel emerged. It was colossal, easily 3 kilometers in length, bristling with weapon systems that made the observation fleet's armaments look like primitive clubs. Its hull bore markings in the human language system, but the technology was far beyond anything Earth should have possessed. "They've been hiding," Vex breathed, his 3 hearts hammering in his chest. "This entire time, they've been hiding their true capabilities." The massive warship fully emerged from the dimensional rift, followed by another, then another. Soon, the sky above Earth teemed with vessels of various sizes, from nimble fighters to massive dreadnoughts that dwarfed anything in the galactic fleet. "Sir," Nix reported, her voice barely steady, "I'm counting over 300 vessels and more, emerging every minute. These aren't just warships. Some of them are mobile space stations. Others appear to be manufacturing platforms." Vex stared in stunned silence as humanity's true face revealed itself to the galaxy. The primitive species they'd been cataloging as developing had somehow constructed a hidden fleet that rivaled the combined might of the Galactic Council. "Get me a priority channel to Galactic Command," he ordered, his voice hoarse with shock. "Tell them we have a Code Crimson situation. The humans aren't what we thought they were." As more rifts tore open across Earth's sky, revealing an ever-growing armada, one terrible realization crashed down upon the observation fleet. If humanity had been hiding this level of technology, what else had they been concealing? Admiral Rex Turner stood on the bridge of the UES Prometheus, watching through the main viewport as his ship emerged from the dimensional fold that had kept Earth's true fleet hidden for over a century. The massive dreadnought's emergence sent ripples through space-time, a testament to humanity's mastery over forces the galaxy thought impossible. "Admiral," reported Captain Mills from the tactical station, "all fleet elements are reporting successful emergence. Operation Daybreak is proceeding on schedule." Rex nodded grimly. For 150 years, humanity had known about their watchers. The Alien observation fleet thought their cloaking technology was invisible, but human quantum sensors had detected them within months of their arrival. Instead of revealing themselves, Earth's leaders had made a decision that would reshape galactic history. They would let the aliens watch while secretly preparing humanity's true strength. "Status report on the dimensional generators?" Rex asked. "All 47 gate stations are operating at full capacity," replied Commander Hayes from the engineering console. "We can maintain these rifts for approximately 6 hours before needing to cycle the generators." Through the bridge's panoramic windows, Rex watched as hundreds of human vessels poured through the dimensional tiers. Each ship represented decades of secret development, hidden in pocket dimensions that existed parallel to normal space. While the aliens observed Earth's surface, seeing only primitive rockets and basic satellites, humanity's real work had taken place in carefully concealed dimensional laboratories. "Sir," called Lieutenant Park from communications, "we're receiving panic transmissions from the observation fleet. They're attempting to contact their homeworlds." "Let them," Rex replied. It's time the galaxy knew what humanity is capable of. The revelation had been carefully planned. Dr. Webb, Earth's leading physicist, had discovered the principles of dimensional folding 30 years after first contact with the Watchers. Instead of celebrating their breakthrough publicly, the Global Defense Council had made the decision to develop this technology in secret, creating hidden shipyards and research facilities in pocket dimensions. "Admiral, the Titan-class vessels are fully deployed," reported Captain Mills. "All weapon systems are online and ready." Rex looked out at humanity's crown jewel, the UES Leviathan, a 5-kilometer dreadnought that served as both warship and mobile command center. Its graviton cannons could crack moons, and its dimensional shields could deflect anything the galaxy currently possessed. But the ships were only part of the revelation. As the rifts stabilized, massive structures began emerging, orbital installations that dwarfed anything the watching aliens had ever seen. Manufacturing stations, research complexes, and defensive platforms that had been built in secret over the past century. "Begin Phase 2, Rex commanded. Across Earth's sky, the newly emerged fleet began transmitting on all frequencies, broadcasting in every known galactic language. The message was simple, delivered in Rex's own voice. "Attention, observers of Earth. I am Admiral Rex Turner of the United Earth Space Force. For over 2 centuries, you have watched our world, believing us to be a primitive species struggling with basic technology. Today, we reveal the truth." The transmission continued, carried by quantum relays that sent the message instantly across known space. "While you observed our surface activities, humanity has been developing technologies that surpass your current understanding. We have mastered dimensional manipulation, graviton control, and quantum consciousness transfer. We have built a fleet that could challenge any power in the galaxy." On the observation ships, alien crews watched in stunned horror as the implications became clear. The humans hadn't just been hiding ships. They had been conducting a century-long intelligence operation, learning everything about galactic technology, politics, and military capabilities while revealing nothing about themselves. "But we are not conquerors," Rex's message continued. "We are explorers, scientists, and guardians. We have watched you watching us, and we have learned much about the galaxy beyond our world. Today marks not an invasion, but an introduction." "Commander." Vex of the observation fleet stared at his screens in disbelief. The energy readings from the human vessels exceeded anything in the galactic database. These weren't just advanced ships. They represented a technological paradigm that the galaxy hadn't thought possible. "Sir," whispered Lieutenant Cole, "some of those vessels are generating energy signatures that match theoretical models for dimension-cutting weapons. If those readings are accurate..." Vex didn't need the explanation finished. If humanity possessed dimension-cutting technology, they could slice through any known defensive system as if it were paper. The entire galactic balance of power had just shifted in a matter of minutes. As Earth's sky filled with impossible ships and structures, one truth became undeniably clear. Humanity had just announced itself as a galactic superpower, and they had done it with a demonstration that left every watching species questioning everything they thought they knew about the universe. The emergency session of the Galactic Council convened within hours of receiving the first reports from the Sol system. Representatives from 43 species materialized in the Great Chamber through quantum teleportation, their various forms of panic evident across a dozen different physiologies. Chancellor Gore of the Hegemony slammed his massive fist against the podium, his reptilian features twisted with fury. How is this possible? Our intelligence network spanned 10,000 worlds, and we never detected even a hint of this capability. High Counselor Vera of the Tech Alliance flickered nervously, her energy-based form shifting between frequencies. The quantum signatures we're receiving are impossible according to our current understanding of physics. These humans have somehow bypassed the fundamental limitations that govern dimensional manipulation. Fleet Admiral Knox of the military coalition stood rigid at attention, his insectoid mandibles clicking rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation among his species. My lords, we must address the immediate threat. The humans have just deployed a fleet that outmatches our combined naval forces. Their smallest destroyers are generating more power than our largest dreadnoughts. The chamber erupted in chaos as representatives began shouting over each other in dozens of languages. Some demanded immediate military action, others called for diplomatic contact, and a few suggested complete withdrawal from human space. "Order!" roared Chancellor Gore, his voice amplified by the chamber's systems. "We will not make hasty decisions based on fear." But fear was exactly what gripped the galactic community. For millennia, the balance of power had remained stable. The major species possessed roughly equivalent technology, with advancement occurring at predictable rates. The sudden appearance of humanity's true capabilities shattered this equilibrium entirely. High Counselor Vera accessed the central database, projecting holographic displays of the human vessels. Analysis of their dimensional rifts shows they've mastered technologies we've only theorized about. These fold gates they're using require energy manipulation on a scale that should be impossible for a single-planet civilization. Unless they're not a single-planet civilization, interrupted Dr. Yolt of the Science Directorate, his tentacles writhing with excitement despite the dire circumstances. What if they've been expanding in secret? What if they already have colonies we don't know about? The implications sent a chill through the assembly. If humanity had been secretly expanding while maintaining the facade of a primitive world, they could have established hidden outposts throughout the galaxy. Fleet Admiral Knox activated his tactical display, showing force deployment scenarios. Even if we mobilized every ship in the galactic fleet, our chances of victory against this new human force are... He paused, his mandibles clicking rapidly. Approximately 12%. And that assumes their revealed capabilities represent their full strength. 12%? Chancellor Gore's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. Are you telling me that a species we've been watching like children could destroy our entire civilization? Not just destroy, Admiral Knox replied grimly. According to our analysts, their dimension-cutting weapons could theoretically slice through planetary cores. They could crack worlds like eggs. The chamber fell silent as this revelation sank in. The galaxy's greatest military minds were admitting that humanity possessed the power to end civilizations with technology that seemed like magic. We need to understand their intentions, High Counselor Vera stated, her energy form pulsing with nervous light. Their admiral's message spoke of exploration and guardianship, not conquest. Perhaps there's hope for peaceful coexistence. Or perhaps, snarled Chancellor Gore, they're playing a longer game. Think about it. They've spent 2 centuries observing us while we observed them. They know our weaknesses, our military capabilities, our political structures. This could be the opening move of the most sophisticated invasion in galactic history. Dr. Yolt's analysis appeared on the central display, showing energy consumption patterns from the human fleet. The power requirements for maintaining those dimensional rifts should be draining entire star systems. Yet their energy output remains constant. Either they've mastered zero-point energy extraction or they have access to power sources we can't even comprehend, finished Admiral Knox. As the debate raged, reports continued flowing in from across the galaxy. Human observation posts had been detected in 17 different star systems, all previously thought to be uninhabited. The installations were small, cleverly disguised, and had apparently been monitoring galactic civilization for decades. They've been studying us, Chancellor Gore realized, his voice heavy with the implications. While we watched one little world, they've been building a comprehensive intelligence network across our entire civilization. High Counselor Vera's form flickered more rapidly. The question now is, what do they want? Species don't develop this level of capability without purpose. Humanity has just revealed they possess the power to reshape the galaxy. The only question is whether they'll use it to protect or to conquer. As the council chamber buzzed with fearful speculation, one fact remained undeniable. In a single day, humanity had transformed from a curious primitive species into the galaxy's most dangerous unknown factor. And somewhere in the Sol system, Admiral Rex Turner was preparing for the next phase of humanity's emergence onto the galactic stage. Ambassador Lisa Cole stepped through the dimensional gateway onto the neutral station orbiting the gas giant Kepler 442b, her diplomatic team following closely behind. The station, hastily constructed by the Galactic Council in the week since humanity's revelation, represented the first formal meeting between Earth and galactic civilization. Remember, she addressed her team as they walked through the sterile corridors. We're not here as supplicants seeking admission to their club. We're here as equals announcing our presence. Her aide, Colonel Blake, adjusted his dress uniform nervously. Ma'am, intelligence reports suggest several species are considering preemptive strikes against Earth. This could be a trap. Lisa smiled grimly. Let them try. Admiral Turner has 3 fleets positioned in fold space, ready to emerge at a moment's notice. If this goes badly, the galaxy will learn just how advanced our military doctrine really is. The conference room was a marvel of xenological architecture, designed to accommodate the various environmental needs of 43 different species. As Lisa's team entered, the assembled alien dignitaries fell silent, their various sensory organs focused intently on the humans. Chancellor Gore dominated one section of the room, his massive reptilian form radiating barely contained hostility. High Counselor Vera flickered nervously in her energy containment field, while Fleet Admiral Knox's insectoid features remained unreadable behind his compound eyes. Ambassador Cole, Chancellor Gore began, his translator rendering his growling voice into crisp English. We welcome humanity to this historic first contact, though we admit, the circumstances are unprecedented. Lisa took her seat at the head of the table, a position traditionally reserved for the most senior galactic representative. The alien diplomats stirred uneasily at this breach of protocol, but none dared object. Chancellor Gore, esteemed representatives, Lisa began, her voice carrying the weight of speaking for an entire species. Humanity appreciates this opportunity for open dialogue. However, we must address the elephant in the room, or perhaps I should say, the fleet in the sky. High Counselor Vera's energy form pulsed with curiosity. Ambassador, our scientists are struggling to understand how your species achieved such rapid technological advancement. Your dimensional manipulation capabilities seem to violate several fundamental laws of physics. I'm sure they do, Lisa replied with a slight smile. From your perspective. But science is about expanding understanding, not accepting limitations. Humanity has simply taken a different approach to problem solving. She activated a holographic projector, displaying humanity's technological development timeline. While your civilizations advanced along traditional paths, faster engines, stronger weapons, more efficient energy systems, we focused on understanding the underlying structure of reality itself. The display showed Earth's hidden research, stations, dimensional laboratories, and the breakthrough discoveries that had led to fold space technology. When we realized we were being observed, we made a choice. We could reveal ourselves as another typical spacefaring species, or we could take the time to develop capabilities that would ensure our independence. Fleet Admiral Knox leaned forward, his mandibles clicking. Your independence was never in question, Ambassador. The Galactic Council doesn't subjugate developing species. Doesn't it? Lisa's voice carried a sharp edge. Your own protocols classify species as developing, integrated, or protected. Every one of those categories assumes galactic authority over sovereign worlds. Humanity rejects such classifications. The room erupted in agitated whispers and translated protests. Chancellor Gore slammed his fist against the table. The Galactic Order has maintained peace for over 10,000 years. Your species cannot simply ignore established protocols. Watch us, Lisa replied calmly. Humanity has no interest in joining your galactic hierarchy. We're here to announce our independence and establish diplomatic relations as equals. Dr. Yolt's tentacles writhed as he accessed his data systems. Ambassador, our analysis suggests your species has established research outposts in at least 20 star systems. This represents a significant expansion beyond your homeworld. 37. Systems, actually, Lisa corrected. We've been thorough in our exploration. Unlike some species, we don't announce our presence with loud engines and energy broadcasts. We prefer discretion. The implications struck the assembled diplomats like a physical blow. Humanity had been secretly expanding throughout local space for decades, possibly centuries, without detection. High Counselor Vera flickered more rapidly. This is impossible. Our sensor networks monitor all dimensional activity. How could you have established outposts without triggering our detection systems? Colonel Blake spoke for the first time, his voice carrying military precision. Because your sensors look for known energy signatures. Humanity developed quantum phase technology that operates outside your detection parameters. We've been studying your sensor networks for 50 years. The alien representatives exchanged alarmed glances. If humanity could move undetected through galactic space, traditional concepts of border security and territorial integrity became meaningless. What do you want from us? Chancellor Gore demanded, his patience finally exhausted. Lisa stood, her presence commanding the room despite being physically smaller than most of the assembled aliens. Recognition of humanity's sovereignty over our territories, establishment of trade relations on equal terms, and access to galactic databases for scientific exchange. And if we refuse? Admiral Knox asked quietly. Lisa's smile was cold as space itself. Then you'll discover why Earth's military doctrine emphasizes overwhelming superiority rather than gradual escalation. We didn't spend 2 centuries preparing just to be told no by the first aliens we met. She activated another holographic display, showing real-time feeds from human fleets positioned throughout the galaxy. Every major galactic world is currently within range of our dimensional strike capabilities, not because we're threatening you, but because we believe in being prepared. The conference room fell deadly silent as the true scope of humanity's preparations became clear. They hadn't just built a fleet. They had positioned themselves to project power anywhere in the youth galaxy within minutes. So, Lisa continued, retaking her seat, shall we discuss the terms of our mutual recognition? Or would you prefer to explain to your populations why their skies are suddenly full of human warships? 3 days after the diplomatic conference, humanity's true strategic genius began to reveal itself. In the classified briefing room aboard the UES Prometheus, Admiral Turner studied holographic displays showing galactic fleet movements with the satisfaction of a chess master, watching his opponent realize they'd been outmaneuvered for dozens of moves. Report, he ordered, as his senior staff assembled around the tactical table. Captain Mills activated the intelligence display. As predicted, 12 species have begun mobilizing their fleets for a coordinated strike against Earth. They're calling it Operation Cleansing Storm. How original, Turner remarked dryly. Estimated time to full mobilization? 17 days, replied Colonel Hayes from Strategic Planning. However, they're encountering significant logistical problems. Their supply lines are experiencing mysterious disruptions. Turner smiled. Mysterious indeed. Commander Park, status of Operation Chessboard? All pieces in position, sir, Park responded, highlighting dozens of locations throughout galactic space. Our sleeper installations have been activated in every major shipping route. We're currently controlling approximately 60% of galactic commerce without their knowledge. The scope of humanity's preparation was staggering. For over a century, while the galaxy watched Earth's surface, human agents had been establishing hidden installations throughout civilized space. Not military bases that would have been detected, but commercial facilities, research stations, and communication relays that appeared to belong to various alien corporations. Sir, reported Lieutenant Nash from Intelligence, we've successfully infiltrated the command structures of 7 major species. Our quantum consciousness transfer technology has allowed our agents to assume positions of significant authority. Turner nodded approvingly. Humanity's mastery of consciousness transfer, the ability to download and upload human minds into synthetic bodies, had proven invaluable for long-term infiltration. Agents could spend decades building cover identities while their original Bodies remained safely on Earth. What about the economic warfare protocols? Turner asked. Fully operational, replied Commander Wells from Economic Intelligence. We now control the primary trade routes for exotic matter, quantum crystals, and dimensional stabilizers. If the galaxy wants to maintain their current technology level, they need materials that flow through our hidden networks. The beauty of humanity's strategy was its subtlety. Rather than building obvious military assets, they had focused on controlling the infrastructure that kept galactic civilization functioning. Food distribution, communication networks, resource extraction, all of it now depended on systems that humanity could influence or shut down entirely. Admiral, Captain Mills announced, we're receiving a priority transmission from Chancellor Gormley. He's requesting emergency negotiations. Turner's expression remained neutral. I suppose they've realized that their battle plans require resources they can no longer access. Put him through. Chancellor Gore's massive form materialized in the briefing room via quantum projection, his reptilian features showing signs of stress. Admiral Turner, we need to talk. I'm listening, Chancellor. Our military analysts have identified certain irregularities in our supply chains. Critical materials for our defense preparations have become unavailable through normal channels. How unfortunate, Turner replied with mock sympathy. Market forces can be so unpredictable. Gore's eyes narrowed dangerously. Don't insult my intelligence, human. We know your species is behind these disruptions. This is an act of war, is it? Turner leaned back in his chair. We're simply exercising our legitimate business interests throughout the galaxy. If certain materials have become expensive or unavailable, perhaps you should consider more efficient resource management. The truth was even more sophisticated than economic manipulation. Human agents had been gradually acquiring controlling interests in thousands of companies across the galaxy, using advanced market analysis and predictive algorithms to corner critical markets years before they became strategically important. What do you want? Gore demanded. The same thing I wanted 3 days ago. Recognition of humanity's sovereignty and equal status in galactic affairs. The only difference is that now you understand the consequences of refusing. Commander Park highlighted additional strategic assets on the display. Sir, we've also gained control of the primary quantum communication network. We can monitor or disrupt galactic communications at will. Turner addressed Chancellor Gore directly. You see, Chancellor, your species made a fundamental error in judgment. You assumed that because we appeared primitive, we must be primitive. You never considered that our apparent simplicity might be deliberate camouflage. You've been planning this for centuries, Gore realized, his voice heavy with the implications. Longer, Turner admitted. The moment we detected your observation posts, we began preparing for eventual contact. We studied your technology, your politics, your economics, and your psychology. We learned your weaknesses and your dependencies. By the time we revealed ourselves, we had already won. The scope of the deception was breathtaking. While galactic species had watched Earth's primitive rockets and assumed they understood human capabilities, humanity had been conducting the most sophisticated intelligence operation in galactic history. This is checkmate, isn't it? Chancellor Gore asked quietly. No, Turner replied, surprising the alien leader. This is an invitation. Humanity doesn't want to conquer the galaxy. We want to improve it. Your civilizations have been stagnant for millennia, trapped in the same technological and political patterns. We offer a partnership that could revolutionize galactic society. He activated a new display showing potential technological advances that human-alien cooperation could achieve. Imagine what we could accomplish together. Faster-than-light communication across galactic distances, dimensional manipulation that could create pocket universes for resource extraction, consciousness transfer technology that could end death itself. Chancellor Gore stared at the possibilities for long moments. And if we refuse this partnership? Turner's smile was cold, but not cruel. Then you'll discover that humanity is perfectly capable of managing galactic affairs without your input. The choice, as always, is yours. As the transmission ended, Turner looked out at the stars beyond, his ship's viewport. Humanity had spent 2 centuries preparing for this moment, and the galaxy was about to learn that sometimes the most dangerous opponents were the ones who smiled while they dismantled your entire civilization from within. 6. Months after first contact, the galaxy had transformed beyond recognition. Ambassador Lisa Cole stood in the observation deck of New Geneva Station, humanity's first openly declared diplomatic facility, watching as the bustling commercial hub demonstrated the new reality of galactic civilization. Ships from dozens of species docked at the station's expanded ports, but now they flew alongside sleek human vessels that seemed to bend space around them. The integration hadn't been smooth, but it had been inevitable once the galaxy understood the true scope of humanity's capabilities. Ambassador, called Director Stone as he approached with the latest reports, the Galactic Economic Council has formally acknowledged human currency in all major trade systems. The transition to quantum-backed exchange rates is proceeding ahead of schedule. Lisa nodded, reviewing the data on her tablet. Humanity's economic revolution had been as dramatic as their military revelation. By introducing quantum-encrypted currency that couldn't be counterfeited or manipulated, they had solved the inflation and fraud problems that had plagued galactic commerce for centuries. "What about the technology transfer programs?" she asked. "Extraordinary success," Stone replied enthusiastically. "The dimensional manufacturing techniques we've shared have increased production efficiency by 300% across 17 species. The hegemony alone has increased their industrial output by a factor of 10. The key to humanity's diplomatic success had been demonstrating that their advanced capabilities weren't just weapons of domination, but tools of mutual benefit. The same dimensional manipulation technology that powered their warships could also create manufacturing facilities that existed partially outside normal space, allowing for production without resource depletion. "Incoming transmission from Chancellor Gore," announced the station's AI system. The reptilian leader's image appeared on the main display, but his demeanor had changed dramatically from their first hostile encounter. "Ambassador Cole, I wanted to personally thank you for the medical breakthrough your people shared with us." Lisa smiled genuinely. "I'm glad the consciousness transfer therapy worked for your people, Chancellor. No one should have to suffer from degenerative neural conditions when the technology exists to prevent it." Humanity's mastery of consciousness manipulation had yielded unexpected benefits for galactic civilization. Species that had suffered from incurable mental disorders for millennia suddenly found themselves with access to treatments that could repair damaged minds by temporarily housing consciousness in quantum matrices while biological repairs were made. "The vote was unanimous," Gore continued. "The Galactic Council has formally recognized the Human Federation as a sovereign power with full diplomatic status. We've also approved your proposal for the Joint Exploration Initiative." This was the moment Lisa had been working toward for months. Rather than seeking to dominate the galaxy, humanity had proposed a radical expansion of exploration beyond the current galactic boundaries. With their dimensional technology, they could reach distant galaxies that had been impossibly remote for traditional faster-than-light travel. "Thank you, Chancellor. Admiral Turner will be pleased to know that Operation Horizon is approved." After Gore's transmission ended, Lisa walked to the station's central hub, where a massive holographic display showed the current state of galactic civilization. Green indicators marked sectors where human technology had been successfully integrated, while blue zones showed ongoing cooperation projects. "Ma'am," called Commander Reed from the Strategic Planning Division, "we're receiving requests from 47 different species for inclusion in the Consciousness Backup Program." The program had been humanity's most controversial offering. Using quantum consciousness storage, individuals could create perfect backups of themselves, ensuring that death would become merely an inconvenience rather than an ending. Many species had initially rejected the technology as unnatural, but as the benefits became apparent, resistance had crumbled. "Approved," Lisa decided, "but maintain the same ethical protocols. Full disclosure, voluntary participation only, and absolute security for stored consciousness data." "Yes, ma'am. We're also getting requests for dimensional habitat construction from 12 species. They want to create pocket dimensions for population overflow." Humanity's ability to create stable, pocket dimensions had solved the galaxy's looming overpopulation crisis. Entire civilizations could now expand into dimensional space, creating habitable areas that existed parallel to normal reality without competing for physical resources. "Admiral Turner to Ambassador Cole," came a transmission from the Prometheus. "Go ahead, Admiral." "Lisa, Our deep space reconnaissance probes have made contact with another galactic cluster approximately 50 million light-years away. They appear to have achieved interstellar travel, but haven't developed dimensional manipulation. The exploration fleet is requesting permission to make formal contact. Lisa felt a surge of excitement. This was exactly what humanity had hoped to achieve, not just integration with their local galactic neighbors, but expansion into the broader universe as explorers and teachers rather than conquerors. Permission granted, Admiral. Apply the same protocols we used here. Observe, learn, then reveal ourselves as allies rather than threats. Understood. One more thing. The Galactic Defense Initiative is requesting human assistance with the situation in the Outer Rim. Apparently, there's a species out there that's been aggressively expanding and won't respond to diplomatic contact. Lisa sighed. Not every species would be as reasonable as their local galactic neighbors had ultimately proven to be. Send them our standard diplomatic package. If they refuse peaceful contact, they'll learn why the galaxy now refers to humans as the Gentle Guardians. It was a title that perfectly captured humanity's new role in galactic affairs. They possessed the power to destroy entire civilizations, but they used that power to protect and nurture rather than dominate. As Lisa looked out at the thriving hub of interspecies cooperation surrounding New Geneva Station, she reflected on how far they'd come. Humanity had revealed themselves not as conquerors, but as the galaxy's new big siblings, powerful enough to keep everyone safe, wise enough to share their knowledge, and patient enough to guide other species toward their own advancement. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what humanity had intended. 2 years had passed since humanity's dramatic emergence onto the galactic stage, and Admiral Rex Turner stood in the command center of humanity's greatest achievement, the Nexus Station. The massive installation existed partially in normal space and partially in dimensional fold space, serving as the hub for humanity's expanding network of galactic protection and exploration. "Admiral," reported Captain Wells from the Strategic Overview Station. "The crisis in the Andromeda sector has been resolved. The aggressors have agreed to peace negotiations after witnessing our intervention capabilities." Turner nodded with satisfaction. The incident had been typical of humanity's new role as galactic peacekeepers. A warlike species had been terrorizing smaller civilizations, but a single human fleet had ended the conflict without firing a shot. The mere presence of Earth's dimensional warships, combined with their reputation for overwhelming technological superiority, had convinced the aggressors to reconsider their expansion plans. "What's the status of the Deep Explorer Initiative?" Turner asked. "Remarkable progress," replied Commander Hayes, activating a galactic display that showed far more than their local cluster. "We've now established contact with 17 different galactic communities. 12 have requested formal diplomatic relations, 3 are requesting technological assistance, and 2 have asked for protection from aggressive neighbors." Humanity's dimensional travel capabilities had revolutionized galactic exploration. What had once taken generations of travel could now be accomplished in weeks as human vessels stepped through fold space rifts to reach distant star clusters. Each new galaxy revealed different approaches to civilization, technology, and social organization. "Sir," called Lieutenant Park from communications, "we're receiving a priority transmission from Earth. President Kumar wants to speak with you directly." The image of Earth's leader appeared on the main screen, her face showing the weight of representing an entire species that had become the galaxy's unofficial guardians. "Admiral Turner, the Global Council has made a decision regarding the Transcendence Project. We're authorizing the next phase." Turner felt a surge of anticipation. The Transcendence Project represented humanity's most ambitious undertaking yet. An attempt to share their consciousness transfer technology on a galactic scale, potentially allowing all sentient species to achieve a form of immortality. "Are you certain, Madam President? Once we release quantum consciousness technology to this degree, we can't control how it's used." President Kumar's expression was resolute. "Rex, we've spent 2 years proving that humanity can be trusted with galactic responsibility. Now it's time to trust the galaxy with humanity's greatest gift. Every species deserves the chance to transcend the limitations of biological mortality." The implications were staggering. If successful, the project would effectively end death throughout the galaxy, allowing consciousness to be transferred between bodies, backed up in quantum storage, and even shared across multiple forms simultaneously. Admiral, Commander Hayes interjected, we're also receiving reports from the Outer Rim exploration fleets. They've encountered something unprecedented. A new display activated, showing long-range sensor data from the galaxy's edge. The readings were unlike anything in their databases, massive structures that appeared to be artificially constructed but showed no signs of current habitation. What am I looking at? Turner asked. Preliminary analysis suggests we've found the ruins of a galactic civilization that predates anything we've encountered, Hayes explained. The structures span multiple star systems and show evidence of dimensional manipulation technology that might be even more advanced than our own. Turner studied the data with growing excitement. This discovery could represent the next phase of galactic evolution, evidence that other species had achieved transcendence and moved beyond the need for physical existence entirely. Prepare an exploration fleet, he ordered. Full dimensional capabilities and include representatives from our galactic allies. If we're going to investigate ancient transcendent civilizations, we do it together. Sir, reported Captain Mills, from the tactical station, we're also receiving an interesting development from the Consciousness Research Division. Dr. Morgan believes she's made a breakthrough in collective consciousness networking. Turner's attention sharpened. The possibility of linking individual minds into a collective network while maintaining personal identity had been humanity's holy grail of consciousness research. Explain. She's successfully created a temporary network linking 12 volunteers from different species. They maintained individual personalities while sharing knowledge, emotions, and problem-solving capabilities. The implications for interspecies cooperation are extraordinary. As Turner considered this development, the main display suddenly activated with an emergency alert. Ambassador Cole's image appeared, transmitting from the diplomatic sector. Admiral, we have a situation. Long-range sensors have detected massive energy signatures approaching from intergalactic space. Multiple vessels, technology unknown, ETA approximately 6 hours. Turner felt his blood chill. After 2 years of humanity serving as the galaxy's protectors, they were about to face their first true test. An unknown force from beyond their galactic cluster. Red alert across all human installations, he commanded. Activate the Aegis. Protocol. Contact all allied species and inform them we're implementing galactic defense procedures. The Aegis Protocol was humanity's ultimate contingency plan. A network of dimensional gates that could instantly transport defensive fleets to any threatened location in the galaxy. It had never been tested on this scale. Admiral, Commander, Hayes reported as alerts flashed across the tactical displays. Fleet commanders are requesting orders. Do we take a defensive or offensive posture? Turner considered the question carefully. Everything humanity had built over the past 2 years. Their reputation as protectors rather than conquerors. Their diplomatic relationships. Their role as galactic guardians would be defined by how they handled this crisis. Defensive formation, but prepare for overwhelming response if peaceful contact fails, he decided. And Hayes? Yes, sir? Activate the Transcendence Backup Protocol. If we're about to face something that could threaten galactic civilization, we need to ensure that consciousness can survive even if bodies cannot. As alarms echoed through the Nexus station and human fleets began emerging from dimensional fold space throughout the galaxy, Turner realized that humanity's greatest test was about to begin. They had revealed themselves as galactic guardians, but now they would discover if they were truly capable of protecting the vast community of civilizations that had come to depend on them. The approaching energy signatures grew stronger on the sensors, and Turner smiled grimly. Whatever was coming from the void between galaxies was about to learn why the locals called humanity the Gentle Guardians. Gentle by choice, but possessing the power to reshape reality itself when the galaxy's survival was at stake. All stations, this is Admiral Turner, he broadcast across the human fleet network. Today we proved that humanity didn't just emerge from hiding to join galactic civilization. We emerged to protect it. Whatever's coming, they're about to learn that this galaxy is under our protection. As the massive installation's dimensional generators powered up to full capacity and human warships materialized throughout local space, Turner felt the weight of his species' destiny. They had spent centuries preparing to reveal themselves, 2 years building trust and cooperation, and now faced the ultimate test of their role as guardians of galactic civilization. The approaching unknowns would soon discover that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their military might. It was their absolute commitment to protecting those who had become their allies, friends, and fellow guardians of tomorrow. In the depths of space, dimensional rifts began opening as humanity's true fleet prepared to defend not just their own species, but the entire galactic community they had sworn to protect. The age of humanity as galactic guardians was about to face its defining moment.